Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Do something nice for someone today. Pay forward the great warm feelings of Christmas time and wish all you meet today Merry Christmas. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot. Come on, Patriots, don't let up on me. Help me. Pledge of Allegiance time. And a good morning to you as we draw closer and closer to Christmas time. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires to get you through whatever the weather throws at you. And, of course, don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And our friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance for a Monday. Good morning.
Well, good morning again to you, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Attaboy, Wheels, and right now it's time for the weather forecast on this first Monday of the work week. And K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West, brings us the weather with the best tools and equipment anywhere, anytime, for any project. All you need to do is call them and get more information or stop in. They're right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Number to call, 678-3122. K&R Rental with Roger and the crew. Get there early in the morning to serve you with both long and short-term rental on equipment. Right now, here we go with the weather forecast.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we begin another work week and so much closer to Christmas, and it's going to be a nice day. We are expecting mostly sunny skies, high of about 26. Tonight, expect areas of patchy freezing fog. Mostly clear, going to get very cold. Low of about 6 degrees with the wind chill factor as low as -5. Leave your faucets on a trickle. For tomorrow, patchy freezing fog in the morning, sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 25. With the wind chill factor, it's going to be as low as -7. Then for tomorrow night, increasing clouds, low of about 13 by Wednesday, mostly cloudy and 31. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
It's going to be cold out there. Leave your faucets dripping, she said. Weather forecast, thank you, Gina. Brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn. As I said, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss them. Absolutely. The number to call, ask questions. They've got the answers. 678-3122. K&R Rental. Oh, my goodness sakes, we've got a busy day. Later on this morning, and I know you've heard of this lady, I know you've listened to this lady, and she's written so many books, been on television and radio. Dr. Laura Schlesinger will be on our program at 10:30 this morning. So Dr. Laura will be here this morning. Oh, and by the way, yesterday another great lady celebrated a birthday, and I want to wish her a great big birthday wish of many more. Mary Salerno in Twin Falls. God bless you, Mary, and happy birthday. Want to also remind everybody about what's going on at Darrow's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. Hello, Kevin and Cindy. And by the way, You still got a week before Christmas, and you better hurry. Take that tablecloth from Thanksgiving that had the cranberry, the turkey, and all the other stains on it. Don't forget, you got other cleaning that needs to be done before Christmas. Better get in there today at 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. And don't forget, they are the best at what they do, Daryl's Cleaners. 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. They're waiting to serve you. Want to give a great big shout-out, too, to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and they also get there early in the morning at 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and literally, this is the truth, all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. They've got it all. And what else have they got? They've got the best in staff to serve you, as they have for almost 7 decades. Holy moly. They are the professionals. They are good. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Really, really good people. Don't forget, this Thursday is a day that I really am looking forward to. I mean, every year I get bitten by the Christmas bug, and it really comes to a boiling point when we do the Christmas, the old-fashioned Christmas party at Denny's restaurant on Thursday. And I want you folks to come down. I want you to stop in and say hello. I want you to realize all the specials they're going to have at Denny's restaurant. I want you to acknowledge Santa Claus is going to be there. And then we've got the great voice of Ashley Ludlow, and she's going to be singing Christmas carols while I'm broadcasting for 3 hours down there at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. You can stop in anytime and all the time for the best of breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, with our big, big Christmas party this Thursday from 8 to 11. You be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We're going to be talking about this with Rick Manning and with some of our other guests here this morning, but the stupidity continues all this week with the Democrats forcing the impeachment issue. And have you ever honestly answered this question? And this has been posed many times during the weekend. Have you ever in your life imagined that a president and his administration would be impeached and damned and condemned by the other party when that president is absolutely doing a tremendous job? Our economy is red, roaring hot. Our economy is in the best shape it's been perhaps forever. And it's the best economy on the face of the earth. Record highs in the stock market. 401ks are going through the roof. And, wait a minute, hold the phone. The Democrats are trying to impeach and throw him out of office for nothing more. There isn't a crime. I want to stress that there is no crime that is highlighted or featured in their list of impeachment charges. There's no crime. They just don't like the guy. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, all of us gun-toting, Bible-carrying deplorables out here are getting more angry all the time. Because, like I say, there's no charges. This Dershowitz, that liberal emeritus Harvard professor, law professor, I mean, he points this out. There's just nothing there, and it's just like pushing thin air. It's like going outside and seeing if you can gather up some air. I mean, there's just nothing there, Zeb.
Well, the thing is, Adrian, let me ask you this. You're a sharp guy, and you know politics. I mean, if there was an inquisition against a certain crime, thou did this, and we have all the evidence to back it up, that would be different. But it started off as collusion, and then it turned off into bribery, and it's run its course with all the different things that they've thrown on the wall. None of them have stuck. You know, sooner or later, you would think that the American public would say, this is crazy, and we've got to get rid of this. But still, and this is what blows my mind, 50% supposedly, according to these polls that I don't believe, 50% of Americans want to see Trump thrown out. I can't understand that.
Well, the only reason that's true, I mean, of course, the polls are all geared. I mean, it depends on how you ask the question.
Yep.
You know, that's the whole deal with the polls.
Yep.
But the polls really are pretty much meaningless because obviously if the polls are correct, Hillary would have won in a landslide in the last election. You know, so, yeah. But the national mainstream media is so bent on destroying this country. I mean, they're not just working to give the liberal viewpoint. They want to destroy this country. They're doing everything they can. And, you know, I'm going to use an illustration. And it's what's happening right now here in Idaho. You know, I've had correspondence, finally got some correspondence back from the CEO, Darrell Anderson from IdaCorp, president of Idaho Power. Well, you know, in a way, all of they have been fed is that carbon dioxide is destroying the planet. Now, real scientists know that's not true. But what's the media been spouting? What are they spending billions and literally billions to convince us of a lie?
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing, exactly the same thing, Zeb, with this total impeachment process. There's nothing there. There's carbon dioxide. Without carbon dioxide, we don't breathe and we don't eat.
Well,
and there's nothing to this impeachment deal either. But a lot of people don't watch Fox News or listen to talk radio like yourself that gives the other viewpoint.
Well, I appreciate your very open and candid remarks because what you said is 100% true, but it leads me to have a lot of fainting heart moments to think that leadership, especially within the Idaho Power Organization, couldn't have checked more thoroughly why they're making a decision to go totally green by 2045. And then the other part of that equation is why they're so clandestine and not opening up and answering questions. I have no respect for Idaho Power. I never will from this point forward because they are basically cowards and not opening up and giving good answers to fair questions about why they're doing this. Adrian, I got to run. As you can tell, I got to stay with all the commercials I've got. I appreciate your remarks. Thank you very much.
You bet. Well, I think we just need to keep pushing the truth out there, and you keep up the good work and have a very Merry Christmas season, and all you people out there. You know, we just got to. It's the vocal minority historically has gotten the job done.
I agree.
We wouldn't be a free country right now if it wasn't for the vocal minority that took up the cause of the revolution so that we could have independence.
I agree, Adrian. Thank you. Merry Christmas right back at you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Don't forget our buddy Rick over at Mountain Transmissions, and believe me, they're located at 504 East Main Street in Burley, and you put your car in reverse the other day, didn't you, Bunky? But you went forward. That's not what you wanted. And then you put it in drive and you went backwards. You got a problem with the transmission. And Rick offers free estimates and free diagnosis on your tranny. You better get a hold of him, 678-9110, Mountain Transmissions in Burley, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. And our friends over at Dino's Septic Service. Now, a lot of people would say, boy, how do you keep things fresh? And talking about those folks that are dealing with septic cleaning and inspections and pumping, it's easy. These people are so good, and they are so service-oriented. Septic tank pumping, backhoe services, water and sewer lines installed, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned. Oh, my, they do it all. And they do it with a big smile on their face, too. Fast, fair, friendly service. Give them a call, 436-6526 or 678-1638. Dino's Septic Service. And they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a holler. I'd love to hear from you. And while I'm waiting for your call, I also want to remind you about Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Today and tonight are going to solidify what I've been telling you about. Fresh water and plenty of it. Don't let it freeze hard as an ice cube. Your livestock and your pets need water, and they need shelter outside, too, like your dogs, kitty cats, and everything. By golly, take care of them. And don't forget there's plenty of availability of water heaters to make sure they've got plenty of water. Check it out. And if you have any problems with your animal's health, call Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. Dr. Bill and the crew have warm hearts for the cold noses. You be sure and call them if you have any problems. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What is really interesting over the weekend, and the hypocrisy, the idiocy, you can use any kind of word you want, that the Democrats are doing about this impeachment. And all the while, they are losing in their own party people that are standing up for them. As a matter of fact, House freshman Representative Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey is jumping ship. No, he said, that's it. I'm out of here. He's leaving the Democratic Party and has contacted already President Donald Trump and said, I'm going to become a member of the GOP. I am not going to stay with the Democratic Party. And there are others that are very, very worried about voting for impeachment and following this thing through. And the speed of which the Democrats are trying to push this impeachment through. 658 pages of unbelievably stupid impeachment writing with no basis of any crime, and they're trying to push this thing through before Christmas. 9 days. 9 days, and the Democrats are trying really, really hard to make sure that the Trump administration and the Trump family and Trump personally do not have a very Merry Christmas. What are your thoughts on this? 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's see what else. Oh, by the way, holy cold in the Midwest. It is really cold back there, and lots of snow, blizzard conditions, major traffic accidents on the interstates and all the state highways, etc. It is a mess. And I was watching Saturday North Dakota University against Illinois State, and they were playing in the Fargo Dome, but outside, while the game was being played, it was 1 degree below zero, and they had a whole bunch of snow back there. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a call. Merry Christmas wishes from our friends at Butte Irrigation, 116 South, 600 West of Paul, and their other location on Kimberly Road, right there at Red Cap Corner. Absolutely Butte Irrigation. They've got all the parts for all the brands of irrigation, and remember, they can get you wet. They are wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Along with our friends over at Golden Valley Warehouse, 1000 South, 468 West of Burley. Adams family has owned and operated Golden Valley Warehouse for years, and they're really are nice people. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Don't forget they've got the best of all quality seed. And Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden. Oh, you last-minute Santa Claus shoppers. Don't forget, Vicky is at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, and she can meet you out there at Vicky's Country Garden and help you get a gift certificate for a stocking stuffer. Call her. 431-5667. That number again, pardon me choking, 431-5667. Vicky's Country Garden. All of these great folks wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Are these impeachment rules another thing that have to be passed in order to be understood and read?
Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, how in the world is anyone, including you and I or anybody else, ever going to be able to discern 658 pages of unbelievably poorly put together impeachment proceedings and negatives of articles impeachment, why they're trying to impeachment? You know, Linda, this thing's got so far out of hand, it's absolutely ridiculous, and everybody should be laughing and scoffing at the Democrats.
Well, it is pretty darn foolish, isn't it?
Do you see any common sense to it at all? Honestly, when you look at the economy and you look at the status of where the United States is today with our security and Trump being able to talk to a lot of the world leaders and basically tell them instead of them telling us what's going to happen, I've never felt better in a long time, but yet the Democrats are trying to throw him out of office. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of kids throwing a temper tantrum. We're going to do it because we want to do it, so therefore we will do it because we want to do it, no matter what.
I dare you to say that fast 5 times.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you've got the nail on the head because this whole thing is such a laughable joke. But one thing I want to ask you in all honesty, and I know you study and listen to the news and everything, tell me one crime, quickly, because I've got to give away some cookies. Tell me one crime that you can absolutely pound a nail in that Trump has committed. Go ahead, just tell me one crime. You can't. Dead air. Hey, listen, in case I don't get a chance I hope you're going to make it over Thursday to Denny's. Please, we'd love to have you there. I'd like to even impose on you to sing a song, possibly. And Merry, Merry Christmas to you, Linda. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas to you. God bless you and Deanna and the whole family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Our whole family.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right now, I'm going to give away about a dozen cookies. I'm going to give you a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street in Rupert. Oh, what a bakery. Oh, what a restaurant. I'm telling you, food reigns supreme over at Sophie's Chatterbox. And if you're the lucky winner of this question and the cookies, all I want you to do is just call over there and let them know when you'll be in to pick them up, all right? Here is the question for today. What country started the tradition of putting up a Christmas tree? What country started the tradition of putting up a Christmas tree for the celebration of Christmas? Please give me a call quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Should be a relatively easy question. What country started the tradition of putting up a Christmas tree? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I'm going to say Germany.
Holy cow. What kind of cookies do you like?
Oh, my. Well, I love peanut butter, but we can't do it because I have somebody allergic to peanuts in my family.
Oh, my.
Chocolate chip are always good.
All right. Well, you be sure and call over to Sophie's and let them know when you'll be in there to get your cookies, Linda Croft. You are the winner.
Thank
All right, God bless you. Thank you. Germany is the right answer. Thank you, Linda. And God bless Linda Croft. She is the winner of that. And right now, my itty-bitty buddy over there at the radio station has a very, very dear friend of ours on the air. And hopefully he's ready to go. We're going to say to Trent with the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and he's over there on Overland and Burley. Trent, how are you this morning?
I'm getting on now, sir.
Okay. Once again, let's say good morning to my buddy Trent over at the Overland location, Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Are you there, my friend?
He should be there, sir.
Trent, good morning. He's not there, Wheels. Quickly, hurry.
He's there now, sir.
Trent, good morning for the 17th time. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can now. Evidently, they had a switch or something off. It's really a treat to have you on the program this morning because I wanted to highlight and feature something very special that all the 7 Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers are going to be involved in to basically enhance and help people enjoy Christmas a little bit more. So tell us what you're going to be doing.
Well, Zeb, actually we've upped the ante a little bit. We're up to 9 stores in the valley, the Magic Valley and surrounding areas. We've teamed up with Falls Brand, and we are donating up to 600. Donating hams that's going to feed up to 600 families in our area, and it's just another way of Les Schwab giving back, to our communities and our local towns, and another way of just saying thank you and for everybody's support. And we love to help out. We love to help the next man up.
Holy smokes, I mean, that's going to help a lot of families, especially at this time of the year. How are you going to do this? I mean, where are they going to be delivered, et cetera?
Well, starting this week, we're going to be going to all the local food banks, like from Mountain Home all the way to Burley to Haley, Twin Falls, Jerome, Buell, all over once a day. All the store managers are going to go and help and load and do whatever we can to donate some time there and just help out those local families that are in need this time of year.
Okay, now are you going to wear the Santa Claus suit with the black boots and the big wide belt and the hat and everything?
No, we're going to be in our traditional blue and white, our uniform. We're ready to go to work for whatever we need to do to help out.
This is just more of an indication as to how great you folks are. I mean, all the people that I know connected with Les Schwab and the tire centers are just so community-oriented and everything, and I salute you. This is wonderful people helping others that maybe won't have such a good Christmas. You're helping them, and they can enjoy it just a little bit more, right?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about this time of year, the time of giving, and we really, really, truly enjoy giving back to our communities.
Well, now tell me, how many hams can you carry on your own? I mean, when you go to deliver these things, you're a big guy. Can you carry about, 15, 20 hams, or what's the record?
Oh yeah, bring it on. I can, whatever we got to do, let's get it done for you, Zeb.
Well, I'll tell you what, I absolutely salute you guys. I know that you're going to be going all over the valley to the various food banks and delivering, and I just thank you very much, Trent, for coming on the program this morning, because I think you need a great big shout-out for all you do for the community. It's more than just tires at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. It's people that care about people, right, Trent?
Absolutely. We'd love to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and please drive safe. If you're traveling this holiday season, and we love what we do, and we love giving back to the communities.
Well, God bless you, man, and may I say loud and clear, Merry Christmas to you and all the Les Schwab Tire Centers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you and your whole team as well. Very much appreciated.
God bless you, man. I think that is so great what they're doing, and they're going to be delivering hams. Holy cow. That's a lot of hams that are going to feed and help a lot of people during this Christmas time, thanks to the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. These guys are going to be taking off their own time and running all over and delivering those hams and everything, and that's pretty special. Pretty doggone special. We've had our cookie winner. That was Linda Croft. And now we're going to tell you a little bit more about our friends over at Barry Equipment and Rental. Oh, my goodness. 3 locations serving you at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location. They've got all the equipment for the lifting, the digging, the pushing, the carrying, everything. They've got all the Doosan wheel loaders and the excavators, and they've got all the Bobcats in various sizes, and they've got excellent rental rates. And if you're buying, oh my goodness, they can help you with great financing programs. Stop in and see them today. Barry Equipment and Rental, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location. And they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Somebody else, too, that wants to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and they've been friends of mine for a long, long time. I'm an old man, and I'll tell you what, one of the fine first people that I met when I came here to Idaho years and years and years ago, and that's all our friends over at Quality's Electronics at 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Holy cow, you talk about hometown service and support. It is there for you, and they're having their great big Christmas sale before Christmas. Sale prices on all their great selection of TVs and sound bars and audio equipment. And holy cow, if you go in and mention my name, you get an extra 10% off on all the TV bases and the wall mounts. You better get in there. Better get into Quality's Electronics, 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. All right, now I'd like you to give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Can you believe what's going on with Pete Buttigieg and his jump at the possible nomination for the Democrats to become the president? Buttigieg is a guy that I fear. Buttigieg is, as you know, married to another man. He's a homosexual, and I'm not going to go and condemn or damn his lifestyle other than the fact it is not right. I'm going to go along with biblical principles, and I'm going to state my feeling against his lifestyle. I have that right. It's my First Amendment right, and it's my Christian right to stand up for what I believe in. I'm not going to weaken. I'm not going to be kowtowed into saying and being submissive that I accept that lifestyle. I don't. But now he's also coming out and saying that if he's elected president, he will automatically give citizenship to 11 million illegal aliens. Now, another story that's coming out this morning in adjacency to this one about Buttigieg saying he'll give 11 million illegal alien citizenship. And by the way, Frosty Woldridge has been spot on prognosticating this would happen with one of the Democrats. He said this 2 years ago. But by the way, now this morning in New Jersey and also New York, there is a huge push to give all the illegal aliens driver's licenses. And it's called the Green Light Law that was signed by Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York earlier this year. It allows anyone to apply for a driver's license regardless of immigration status and does not require a Social Security number. And Cuomo and the rest of these knotheads, which they are arguing that it will make roads safer and the economy stronger. How? How is it going to make our roadways safer and our economy stronger? And many people, like Erie County Clerk Michael Kearns, argued that the measure violated federal law and would make not only New York but the nation less safe. And he said this, I'll read his quote. "My concern is that after 9/11, New York State put a prohibition on illegals having driving licenses, and now with Real ID in 2005, after we were attacked, there will be a gap from today to October 1st that anyone who is here illegally can get into a federal building and can fly on our airplanes and cross our borders, and nobody's going to say a word. The man is spot on. This is just an open invitation for more problems. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. This would be instant destruction for the United States of America. These people would break the economy. They would be put on food stamps, welfare, and everything else that we can think that would take this country to its knees. There's no way we would survive. And this movement would destroy this country in 6 months. There would be nothing left.
I do not understand.
The enemies of America are looking for.
Yeah, Tony, I do not understand.
To take us over.
Tony, I don't understand at all, and maybe you can help me a little bit on this. I do not understand at all why all of a sudden somebody says, well, we're going to give 11 million illegal aliens citizenship in this country, and we're going to provide the access to where they can have driver's licenses as illegal aliens in this country. What in the world are we thinking of here, Tony? I mean, where is there any support for this idiocy?
Can you just imagine 11 million people coming in here, and half of them will be females, possibly, pumping out 4 or 5 kids apiece, and what would happen to our medical system? We would be destroyed.
There's no question about the internal programs that are aiding and abetting others in this country, basically supposedly for citizens, and then you go and you tap into that with 11 million more illegal aliens and soon to be more to come across the border, refugees, etc. And then pretty quick, Tony doesn't get his Social Security check. Anybody that is of that age is starting to see diminishment of values for their Medicare, etc. Our country is falling apart purely because of the idiocy of opening up our borders and saying, y'all come on in because the American taxpayer is going to pay for it.
Can you just see what would be happening to our safety? We'd have no safety. This country would be full of crime. No way to stop it.
Well, tell me one other country, please, that would allow such foolishness as to say to an American over in Japan or an American over in Russia or an American over in Vietnam, oh, well, we're just going to give you citizenship. Oh, and by the way, if you don't want citizenship, well, you can stay here illegally and we'll give you a driver's license. I don't think so.
Over in China.
Yeah. This is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane.
It is.
By the way, Tony, I understand that lovely bride of yours had a birthday yesterday. We already wished her happy birthday earlier this morning. And, again, happy birthday, Mary.
Thank you, Zeb. Yeah, she hit the big 90.
Oh, my goodness. And sharp as a tack, let me tell you. Thank you, Tony. God bless you, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
You know, this is absolutely nuts to think that there's about 12 states that are going to be doing this. And there was another quote that I want to read on, and it says, the Department of Motor Vehicles, and this gentleman said, I am now going to have to accept a report card from a foreign country and a foreign passport as authenticated documents. I myself, as the clerk, am going to have to do that. We used to have to rely on a third party, the federal government, to do that, so they have diminished a New York driver's license, and we are very concerned for our safety and security because Western New York is a border to Canada. I can't wait to talk to Frosty about that in a few minutes. But, folks, honestly, we are doing some insane things that are opening up Pandora's boxes of problems and future terrorist acts. We should be going the other way instead of opening up these issues and just providing an access for those that don't like us and want to kill us, the access of having it be too easy. Let's get a weather forecast on here right now, and the weather brought to you by our dear friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And oh my goodness, I urge you to call and make a hearing screening appointment. You need to hear what you're missing. And the number to call, I want you to give them a call right now at 312-0957. Write that number down, 312-0957, and let their staff, highly trained staff, help you with all the diagnostics and treatment process that are absolutely necessary for you to increase your hearing health. Call them today, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we begin another work week and so much closer to Christmas, and it's going to be a nice day. We are expecting mostly sunny skies, high of about 26. Tonight, expect areas of patchy freezing fog. Mostly clear, going to get very cold. Low of about 6 degrees with the wind chill factor as low as -5. Leave your faucets on a trickle. For tomorrow, patchy freezing fog in the morning, sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 25. With the wind chill factor, it's going to be as low as -7. Then for tomorrow night, increasing clouds, low of about 13 by Wednesday, mostly cloudy and 31. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
Oh, my goodness. Located right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Please give them a call, 312-0957, and they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Calls are welcome. Come on, folks. Don't leave me hanging. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. By the way, more great businesses that want to wish you a very Merry Christmas include Rogge Auction Company over in Declo. Oh, they really put on some great auctions. Snake River Auto Body and Paint in Twin Falls. Good people that really know their business. Baker Brothers Pump Service. Boy, when you need help, they're there to serve you. I know because we've had them work for us many times. Dixon Oil over in Rupert, always there to support community events and what's going on, along with our friends at Redder's Showcase. Oh my, they've got everything for you and your home at Redder's Showcase in Burley. And they all wish you a very Merry Christmas. I'm looking forward to it. My favorite time of the year. Now, we also are going to be giving away another ham next hour. Next hour? Yes, next hour. And I've teamed up also with the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and we're going to be giving away a ham on behalf of Zeb at the Ranch and Magic Valley, Zeb at the Ranch, if I didn't say that last word correctly, and your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And we're going to ask a question next hour, and you might be the lucky winner of a Christmas ham. Absolutely. Calls are welcome. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We are, and for those out there in the audience that think I'm trying to play goody two-shoes here on the radio, well, so be it. I've got holes in my screen door just like everybody else, but I'm telling you what, I think here is more proof that we as a country are turning into Sodom and Gomorrah. At a Seattle homelessness conference for entertainment, they featured a transgender stripper. You can't make this garbage up. I am not kidding you. A conference on solving homelessness in Seattle featured a transgender stripper, and King County and the Seattle city leaders hired this stripper to perform at their annual conference on solving homelessness. And as the video shows, the programming had nothing to do with helping people on the streets. It's about affirming a radical ideology that puts identity politics above solving real problems. For years, Seattle has claimed that it needs more resources to solve homelessness. But as the video shows, they find it totally appropriate to pay big money for a transgender stripper to grind on the members of the region's homelessness nonprofits and taxpayer-funded organizations. This is sick. I will never back up on this program in condemnation of the ruthlessness and lawlessness that is going on in this country to take any standards at all and throw them in the toilet. And here we have a conference of adult people in Seattle that are supposed to be sitting around and figuring out ways and means to help the homelessness situation in their respective area. And they pay a bunch of money to a transgender stripper. And then you think we're not going to heck in a handbasket? This is insane. Absolutely insane. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, I'll tell you what, make it an unforgettable Merry Christmas from Sportsman's Warehouse with Reese and the whole crew. Man, they've got a bunch of great, great gifts for you. How about 25% off all the select Under Armour, Rival Fleece, and Armor Fleece for the whole family? 25% off right now. Hey, here's another great buy. One of those Stanley vacuum steins, only $12.99. It was regularly $19.99, and they've got all kinds of great buys on clothing too. Stop in and check out all the men's and women's lounge pants. We're regularly $14.99. Now they're marked way, way down. You better check it out today at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. You bet all your sporting needs right there at Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin. You stop in and see Reese today. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And then there's the story about this young freshman girl in high school in New York State. And she's really a sharp young lady, and she wanted to start a Christian club in her school. Well, the school board and the school administrators, they went, no, you can't do that. Why, my goodness, that's not acceptable. And in the same school, they got some of the goofiest clubs you've ever heard of in your list. But for a lack of time right now, I'm just going to say, she said, wait a minute. You're telling me that I can't organize a Christian club, and the school principal and the school board, why, no, we can't allow anything like that. She says, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you. So enter First Liberty Institute, people of which we've had on our program many, many times in the last couple of weeks. And she fought back. She sat down with First Liberty Institute, and believe me, when First Liberty Institute was finished with this school, and the school board, and the school principal, they realized that maybe they had overstepped their bounds, and they are saying now, why, we misunderstood, and yes, this young freshman girl can go ahead and implement and start her Christian club within the high school. It's funny how when pushed and pressed into a corner, most liberals that are bent on tearing apart and throwing away anything to do with Christianity, they back up and change their mind. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's not forget our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, what a good bunch. And like we heard from Trent, they're going to be going out this week and delivering a whole bunch of hams all over the area. God bless them. And don't forget, for all your tires, all the different tread designs, and all the sizes for your cars, pickups, and SUVs, they've got your tires. Absolutely. They've got all your winter tires. They've got all your tire chains. They've got all your batteries, and it's going to get really cold the next couple of days. I urge you to make sure you have a battery check. You don't want to go out and turn the key, and it goes click, 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 click. I'm telling you, they got the best in batteries. They've got the best in brake service. You better just stop in and let them help you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pauline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. All right, what have we got cooking next hour? We're going to be talking to Rick Manning back in Washington, D.C., and he's going to tell us all about this lunacy of 658 pages of unbelievably stupid impeachment papers from the Democrats. And then at 9:30, we're going to visit with Frosty Woolridge about political correctness that I will never on this program adhere to, ever. And then at 10:06 this morning, we've got the author of many, many books, and he understands healthcare as good or better than anyone. Peter Ferreira is going to be on the program. And then at 10:32 this morning, we managed to make an agreement with Dr. Laura. Dr. Laura Schlesinger will be on our program talking about her new book, Love and Life, and all the tough things that go with that. Tough love. And I'm really anxious to have her on the program. That's going to be at 10:30 this morning. All of that, and we're going to give away a ham, too. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels at our main studio, take a little break for about 7 minutes. Zeb at the Ranch, and Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll be right back. Oh, play that guitar. Good morning, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Zeb at the Ranch on this Monday, December 16th. And, of course, brought to you by our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires to get you through whatever the weather throws at you. Absolutely. And, of course, don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now, Wheels, let's have this good word for Western Waste.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're all at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, and I'll tell you what, get on the route service. It's so easy, so they can come by your house and pick up your garbage once a week. Oh, my goodness, you'll be thanking me. You'll be thanking me. The number to call is 734-6969. Always at your disposal, getting rid of your garbage. Western Waste Services. Get a hold of them today. Really, really nice people. Don't forget to our dear friends over at Quality's Electronics. Hello, Bruce and the gang. Over there at 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Woo, big Christmas sale. My goodness, sale prices on all their great selection of televisions, sound bars, and audio equipment. And they've got the wireless and Bluetooth speakers all on sale. And they've got great opportunity for you to get a $100 gift card with a new customer activation of the Dish Network. Absolutely. You get in there today. Nice people. Hometown service and support at Quality's Electronics. Quality's Electronics, 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. As I said, really nice people. As you know, over the years, I've been working with, and they've been helping me a lot, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation with Nick Greenwell and the entire physical therapy staff. Well, I want to share the wealth. I want you to go on in there and get rid of the aching and paining. They can help. They will help at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They are excellent with all the exercises and, of course, the only hydrotherapy pool of its kind in the entire area. Oh, please get a hold of them today. Make an appointment. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, wishing you and yours a very,
Merry Christmas. By the way, Christmas wishes also from Joel Heward, his family, and staff at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. My goodness sakes, they are so involved in the community, and they urge you to remember them in the case of an emergency when there's the loss of a loved one. They always provide the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort, with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. That number again, 436-5636. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Right now, on Mondays, this program is absolutely blessed to have this gentleman that is the president of Americans for Limited Government on our program, because he just lays it out in basic terminology what is going on. And that's why I want to talk to him so bad this morning to find out about this mess with the Democrats and impeachment. Good morning, Rick Manning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I will have to tell you that I read in a relatively mainstream website a recap of the week from last week, and they called it one of the best weeks of Donald Trump's presidency. And it was the week when the House Judiciary Committee voted to impeach him. So that tells you somewhat about how the impeachment is being viewed by virtually everybody on both sides of the aisle.
Rick, I'm probably a little older than you. I'm a little gray and a little long in the tooth, but I don't remember ever in my lifetime seeing an economy that is booming and going like a rocket ship up in the air. Our security and everything else seems to be working for us, and this president and his administration have basically got the world, I would say, under U.S. control to the point where we're not worried about somebody just flipping the switch right now this morning. And yet the Democrats are trying to throw this man out of office. It makes no sense to me.
Well, it only makes sense if you look at it from the viewpoint of we were on the verge of having essentially the acceptance of cultural Marxist doctrine in our government and as our national policy. Barack Obama had fundamentally changed America, and Donald Trump's been reminding us of who we are and why it matters. And those who were engaged in the front lines of the cultural Marxist war against America panicked, have been panicking since his campaign and subsequent election. And this is the culmination of that panic, because they realize that Donald Trump's going to get, at least they fear that Donald Trump's going to get reelected in 2020. And in that election, it will undo and actually correct a course that our nation had taken, really without ever making a choice to take it. So they're panicking because they're losing control, and they're seeing a lifetime of work being wiped out.
658 pages of written gobbledygook regarding articles of impeachment and why, and yet no crime. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Well, I have, but it was in a science fiction movie. They are. It is astonishing, and Zeb, I think I've said this before, but so excuse me if I'm repeating myself, but it is absolutely astonishing to me that this president has been under 3.5 years of scrutiny, because we know that they started spying on him before the campaign ended. So he's been under 3.5 years of scrutiny, looking for something to charge him with, looking for a crime that's been committed. They broke his attorney-client privilege with Michael Cohen, his attorney, with the expectation that they were going to find all sorts of crimes that had been covered up and the like, when there was none, where they didn't find anything. They thought that they'd go through his bank records, and Mueller actually he got his bank records, the president's bank records. And guess what? Nothing. They have gone about a constant search of every aspect of this president's life and have been unable to come up with a parking ticket that was unpaid. And and I'm absolutely astonished by that, because I live a pretty clean life, a pretty Christian life, I would say. But I don't know that I could withstand that scrutiny, and yet Donald Trump has, and that I think it astonishes them, because they believed that once they started digging around, they'd find stuff, and yet we've got articles of impeachment which show absolutely nothing, and is basically comes down to a simple fact: we don't like Donald Trump. They're impeaching him because they don't like him. It's bizarre.
You know, the whole thing has been such a television waste, and Wheels, we got a little feedback there, thank you. It's been such a television waste of time, and now even some of the Democrats are jumping off the Titanic, including Representative Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, and going over to the GOP side. Do you anticipate, and you know this far more, and you're closer to it than I am, do you anticipate more people saying enough with this 4-H club, we're going to leave?
I think at the lower levels you'll see that. In Congress, I doubt you'll see it that much. I don't want to get into the weeds for your listeners with Van Drew, but the truth is he would have been in trouble in a Democratic primary, largely because he hasn't towed the AOC line, and the Democrats, a majority of the Democrats wanted him to in the South Jersey district, which I actually know very, very well. And so he only had like a 25% approval rating amongst Democrats in the district, because he hasn't jumped on the impeachment bandwagon. But in terms of getting reelected, he was going to lose as a Democrat. So politically, it makes a whole lot more sense for him to switch parties and take his chances on the Republican side, rather than going and facing a Democrat electorate that in a primary and losing in a primary. And so that's I think, the political calculation he made. And that's just from a pure, Washington, D.C., callous political, review. The truth is, I don't think he felt like he could be in the Democratic Party with the craziness that's existing there. And it wasn't just a political calculation, but an honest calculation about who he wants to hang with on a daily basis, and he doesn't want to hang with them.
You made the comment he wasn't towing the AOC line. I want to have you elaborate that a little bit, because do you anticipate that she, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is assuming more power with the Democratic Party? Is she at a Mexican standoff, or is she being diminished? I mean, what's happening with this woman?
I think that the reason we have an impeachment is because Nancy Pelosi basically decided that she needed to go left, which is hard to imagine she could go left, but go left and appease AOC and her constituents. And I think that was the decision that Nancy Pelosi made. And and Nancy Pelosi, representing San Francisco, can make that decision. But you represent South Jersey, you represent Central Pennsylvania, you represent places where people work for a living with their hands, and that's not you can't really go down the same pathway. And so, but yeah, I think AOC largely drove and her politics and those who follow her largely drove the initial decision to pursue impeachment.
We have a caller with a question.
Drew doesn't represent those constituents. He represents rural New Jersey constituents who are sitting there saying, no, this is really not good. And just one last point on this: Trump's operations in Atlantic City were part of Jeff Van Drew's district. Okay. Now I don't know that he still has operations in Atlantic City, but he has deep political ties in the major county that Jeff Van Drew represents. In terms of from population perspective, so that comes into play also. He represents an area that Donald Trump has extraordinary political pull within, and knows all the players, and would be a very, very difficult thing for the congressman from that area to vote for impeachment.
We have a caller with a question for you, Rick. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, speaking of AOC, I just was wondering,
is there any chance that he could get primaried out? Because I hear there could be, and then maybe any of the other squad, like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, any of them. I'll hang up.
Respond, please, if you would, Rick.
There has been some talk that each of them will get some primary action, and in many of those districts, it's primary or bust. They're overwhelmingly Democrat districts. It is remains to be seen whether or not there will be a primary against AOC or Tlaib or Omar. But each of them has done. Tlaib, in particular, I think, is really vulnerable in a district that is that truly is. She doesn't represent. So I think it's I think there's a high probability that Tlaib will get primary. AOC. I thought that she would get a primary, but I would have thought that I would have heard about it before now, and about somebody legitimately rising up. She's not the establishment New York politicians, and as a result, and they really want their seat back. So and she hasn't, from what people are saying, she hasn't exactly spent a lot of time in the district and dealing with district concerns, kind of the normal things Congress people do about, Social Security and all that kind of stuff. And as a result, she's kind of been an absentee congresswoman, from what some people have said. So yeah, she's vulnerable. We'll see if the Democrats in New York City decide they want to take the seat back.
One of the most smug, arrogant, I'm sure you can conjure up more words about former FBI Director James Comey, and he thought he was going to be absolutely untouchable. But now, things might turn a little bit on Mr. Comey, and I watched the interview with Fox News' Chris Wallace over the weekend. This extremely arrogant individual might be coming down the ladder a little bit. What are your thoughts about FBI Director James Comey?
Well, I think he's certainly trying to backtrack a little bit from his previous assertions that he knew everything and he was right, and everybody who was complaining about the FISA system was wrong. But one of I went through this actually this morning. We redid the timeline in terms of Comey's statement, verified, unverified, and salacious around the Christopher Steele dossier. And here's what appears to be the problem. He may have, James Comey, even though he testified to Congress that is unverified and salacious, and submitted with signed FISA warrants requests to the FISA court, based upon an unverified and salacious document, he may have complied with the law, the letter of the law. And in that he did disclose that the source believed it was true, which is all that's required to be said. And so, even though he signed a FISA warrant application that renewal, when he had already said that he thought it was salacious and unverified, he didn't hesitate. He referred back and said they knew at that point that it was salacious and unverified. It may not have been against the law, and that's one of the things that we really have to figure out, because my biggest fear about all this from the outset wasn't that these guys were breaking the law. It was that it wasn't against the law what they were doing. And and I think it may be becoming really clear, based upon what the IG wrote, that they followed the letter of the law and twisted it just to the edge to be able to do what they wanted to do. And which creates a different problem, because now we have to fix the law and basically rip it out and totally rewrite the thing. Because if James Comey was acting within the strictures of the law failed dramatically, and he won't have violated. He may not have violated the law, although it seemed impossible for me to believe that a year ago. I'm coming around to the conclusion that Comey may have followed the letter of the law, while not have followed the spirit of the law.
Yeah,
and which goes hard to take given his unctuous condescending attitude towards the rest of the world. But it is that is my fear, because it's really, really hard to pass changes in law that are going to have real teeth. And we have an opportunity, but it's going to be a big fight to get it done.
Well, let me ask you this, too, in regards to James Comey and the FBI. The wording about making mistakes. These were not mistakes. These were choices. And I get a little infuriated as to the verbiage that's been twisted. When they changed an email or words or whatever, that's not a mistake. That's a choice to do so. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And the people who actually changed the charging document, for instance, on Michael Flynn, changing the interview notes on Michael Flynn, which was what Lisa Page did after the fact, when she hadn't been part of the interview. Those are at the very least an obstruction of justice. And if any one of us did, change documents and submitted to the FBI, we would be in the clink for a very long time. So I think what the American public wants, and I'm sure your listeners want, is for those who violated the law, who violated their trust, to be brought to justice. And no one wants that more than me. And so I think people who actually change documents have a huge legal problem, and they will get into deep trouble. I'm going to have to say that we're going to have to wait and see what John Durham comes up with in relationship to some of these higher end officials, because there's still redactions, things that we don't know, and out of the IG report, and there's things that we don't know based on the redactions on the page stroke text messages and a whole variety of other things. So we're going to have to wait for Durham to come with the next blow of the hammer. But Zeb, I really fear for our country if some people, high-profile people, aren't perp-walked, because even if they did follow the law, even if they did follow the technical letter of the law, the American public is going to basically believe that this is a cover-up, because these guys have gotten away with so much for so long.
Yeah.
That it is just they've lost their right to have a presumption that they've almost lost their right to a presumption of innocence, at least in the minds of the public, and that's a dangerous place to be. Barack Obama promised he was going to fundamentally change America, and my fear out of this is that he has. And the thing he fundamentally changed, he broke our belief in the judicial system so completely that it is that we're going to demand heads to roll regardless of whether they technically broke the law or not, in order to satisfy a bloodlust that because of the violence they've done to our constitutional system. And it's a problem. I mean, we no longer believe in the system of law, if we no longer believe that there is equal treatment under the law, if we lose that basic concept, and I think we have, it is very difficult to regain, and the fabric of our society is torn in such a way that it's really going to be hard to knit it back together.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Manning, also the co-author, along with Star Parker, of the book, Necessary Noise. Quickly, I've only got 30 seconds left. How's the book doing, Rick?
It's doing well. Getting really good notices from people, and anybody can get it. They should go to rickmanning.com. It makes a good Christmas present, and I think everybody will enjoy it. It really is. At the end of the day, it's a love letter to America and to American exceptionalism. And I hope people will read it, enjoy it, and share it.
President of Americans for Limited Government and a friend of this program, Rick Manning, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas. Have a good day, Rick. Thanks so much.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
All right, take care. I really enjoy Mondays having him on the program. You're going to get a straight answer to all the issues, and I appreciate him. Rick Manning with the Americans for Limited Government. Right now, we got to pay some bills, and I want to remind you about some of the great folks that want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, including Burley Veterinary Hospital in Burley. Really, really good folks taking care of your livestock and your animals, and AMI in Burley. My goodness, whenever we have a project coming up or something to support the fair or Christmas, they're always there. AMI, thank you very much. Nature Nursery and Market. Boy, they've got some outstanding events during the course of the year. They wish you a very Merry Christmas. And, of course, let's head on up to Oakley for Clark's for Shopping. Oh, that delicious sausage. You're going to love it. And also, Searles in Oakley. Boy, do they make some delicious buns and sandwiches. All of these folks wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Let's see. What else have we got cooking here before we go to our next guest? And I've got to get some other things in. Want to remind you about Sportsman's Warehouse. Holy smokes, they have got some outstanding Christmas gift-giving ideas for you at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Oh, yes, stop in and see them today and check out like the Vortex Crossfire HD 10 by 42 binoculars. Oh, my goodness, $149.99, marked way down. And then you can also save 25% on Walker's hearing and eye protection for all the shooters. Oh, my goodness, 25% saving. All of this and so much more for your Christmas gift giving at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Reese and the crew at Sportsman's wish you a very Merry Christmas. You get in there and see them today. Want to take just a moment here before we go to Frosty and remind you about a couple of great businesses, one including Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and so much more by people that are really thoughtful and caring and accessible to serving you. Absolutely. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. They can help you, your family, and your business. Get a hold of them today. Make an appointment at 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, wishing you and yours Merry Christmas. I know someplace you need to stop where they sell fun. Oh, do they sell fun, and that's Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. We've got snow. There's plenty of snow up in the hills. They've got all the snowmobiles. They've got all the snow bikes. They've got all the accessories. They've got a showroom just chock full of all the items you're looking for. I urge you to stop in and see them today. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. And they've got a super service department to keep you running. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 in Rupert. It's true. This is where the fun is sold. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and my old buddy is ready to come on the program for this morning, and I want to say a Merry Christmas to him and his wife and everybody around him. He's a straight shooter, let me tell you. Frosty Woldridge, good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, and good morning, Zeb, and Merry Christmas to you and Deanne and all of the listening audience. Just a very Merry Christmas, and count all of our blessings. And continue to raise literally the bar and raise the discussion as we have throughout the year. And of course, we intend to continue and not only raise the discussion about our country and about our leaders, but also our culture and what built this incredible country, the United States of America. So it's always a pleasure to be with you.
Frosty, there's a couple of things. I want to highlight, of course, your political correctness theme that you wrote, but I want to start with something else that I think is really critical this morning. is that Democrat Pete Buttigieg, that is running for the Democratic nomination, came out over the weekend and said that if he's elected as president, he would give citizenship to 11 million illegal aliens. It goes in exact accordance what you've been telling us for years on this program, that we've got to be extremely wary because people like Buttigieg are going to open the floodgate and look out America.
Yeah, well, and one thing about Buttigieg, or however you pronounce his name, it's going to create a maelstrom of identity politics, and it's going to one thing that they all continue to pretend that it's 11 million illegal migrants in this country, when in fact the 2018 Yale study documented that we have somewhere between 22 and 25 million, and that goes in step with what Ann Coulter wrote about when she said "Adios, America." So I want everyone to understand that if it's 22 to 25 million, which is much more correct than the old worn and hackneyed 11 million that they've been telling us for the last 20 years, you're talking about those people will tap into our welfare systems even more than the immigrants are today. And as you all know, 93% of all those immigrants in Detroit and Minneapolis are on welfare. That's your money and my money and our hard work, not theirs. And so can you imagine Buttigieg gives away that much free citizenship? And what's really even worse is that it means that our citizenship as American citizens is no longer valuable, it's no longer meaningful, it has no credence whatsoever, and that anybody that breaks over our borders can simply become a citizen. This is absolutely against the U.S. Constitution. It means that Buttigieg, Mayor Pete, is not following his sworn duty to uphold the Constitution. So if we see such a swing, and the Democrats get into power, whether it's a Pelosi or whether it's a Schumer or whether it's a Buttigieg or whether any of them, then we have open borders and we no longer have a sovereign nation, and citizenship will mean nothing. American citizenship will mean nothing. I want to make that very clear, Zeb.
Well, another issue that this morning was one of the top stories that was featured on the news starting at about 4 a.m. is that New Jersey and New York are both going to join, I think, about 11 or 10 other states in issuing illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, driver's licenses. And that just makes me want to scratch the paint off the wall.
And again, if you, and of course, I get jihadwatch.com with Robert Spencer, and he gives all the information on what the Muslims are doing. But if you stay in touch with all of the murders, the rapes, the burglaries of all these illegal aliens, even with the DACA people, over 100,000 out of the 800,000 are criminals. And yet they're going to get automatic citizenship if that DACA thing passes the Supreme Court. So what you're seeing, and what I've talked about for the last almost 20 years with you, is a disintegration of law and order here in the United States. And once you lose the law and order, you also lose our culture. You lose the ethos that has held us together. And that is the tragedy of America, and that's what we're facing right now. And again, as I've said, we're about to add another 110 million immigrants from 196 different countries with 196 different worldviews and religions and cultures and ethos, and virtually none of them are compatible. And so we're in for one very rough ride if somebody like Mayor Pete gets into the White House.
Yeah, but Frosty, elaborate a little bit like we've talked in the past about these driver's licenses. I mean, they open the door, literally, of problems that we can't even probably address or even think to address. People getting on airplanes, people crossing into other states, people crossing into from Canada into the United States. I mean, we're opening up a Pandora's box of problems with driver's licenses that are used as a source of ID to get and obtain access to many, many places all around the United States.
Well, that's right. And again, you all remember Muhammad Atta and his 17 or 19 or whatever it was hijackers all had American driver's licenses, and of course that was because Chuck Schumer, the senator from New York, is the one that mandated that, and that's how they got all of their IDs and were able to operate with immunity and impunity here in the United States. And then guess what they got to do? Again, as we lose our nationhood, as we lose our sovereignty, we're in a lot of trouble. And again, citizenship absolutely means nothing when you give it away to people who have broken the law and continue to break the law. And then all of a sudden, it's like giving bank robbers a free pass. It's like giving a murderer a free pass. It's like giving a rapist a free pass. Well, you broke the law, you did all this damage, and now you get a free pass, and you get to be a part of our society. We're going to be, and it's going to end badly for all of us if all of this comes to pass.
One of the best articles I've ever seen that you had written recently was called "The Irony of Political Correctness in America, Scoundrels Everywhere." I read that, I highlighted it because, boy, the ambiguity that's going on in this country and the political correctness, I'm going to come right out and say being PC is absolutely going to drain and dredge this America into the sewers.
Well, and as you can see, and I would encourage everyone to go see this article on newswithviews.com. It's also in Freedom's Phoenix down in Arizona. It's all over the country this morning. And what I try to really bring to the forefront is that the more you bring in political correctness, then you shut down straightforward debate. You shut down straightforward discussion, and you pretend everything is all right. You know, again, it was Mark Twain, and he called it a silent assertion way back in 1861. And what silent assertion is it's called the big lie. You keep lying about what's not going on. You cover it up. And that same silent assertion, of course, led to the Civil War, because no one wanted to deal with what was actually going on in the United States. Well, if you have the same thing, silent assertion is the same thing as political correctness. If we, the American people, have our First Amendment right shut down by media, by the government, by Facebook, by the social media, by people who are in power positions, then you lose the essence of America. You lose the essence of our freedoms. You lose the essence of the Constitution. And once you do that, then literally in the end, anarchy and all hell breaks loose. And we found that in 1861 when the Civil War erupted. Well, you're going to see some eruptions here in the United States if we continue on this same path.
You've been a school teacher and involved in education all of your life. And there was one part that I highlighted in your story that said, funny how all those young people advocate for socialism, but really don't contribute much to society to begin with. I don't even think the young people today, or for that matter, most Americans, really understand the definition of socialism and how it could be applicable to this United States and the downfall of this United States. I just don't think our education system is doing anything to teach the people in the schools from elementary all the way through the university system the dangers of socialism. What are your thoughts?
Well, you would be correct on that, and essentially it's akin to communism. And again, for those of you who appreciate, the communism was always literally facilitated by the end of a barrel of a gun. And you don't have any freedom in communism. Well, socialism literally is the kind of offshoot of communism that literally takes money from the people who are working and gives it to those who simply choose not to work. And it's a real fun thing to do. And I remember when I got out of Michigan State University in 1970. Boy, let's save the poor people. Let's stop racism. Let's stop overpopulation. Let's save the environment. Let's Earth Day and the whole 9 yards. But in reality, there are millions of people who have a personal, literally propensity, if you will, for sitting on their butts and doing as little as possible. And you're seeing that now manifest in California. I mean, at some point, those 11,000 in San Francisco and certainly those 59,000 in Los Angeles made a choice. And they made a choice to sit on their butts. They made a choice to go into the drugs. They made a choice to become alcoholics and all that goes with that. And in the end, if you get a whole nation moving in that direction and facilitating that, then socialism, yeah, it works for a while. But again, it's like, there's so many horses are pulling the sleigh. But at some point, if the sleigh has got too many people on it, the horses can't pull it. And our systems will break down. And so if you get more and more people that just, socialism's great. I get to have my free food, an EBT card. I get to have my free housing, Section 8 housing. I get free medical and no contribution whatsoever, then at some point the entire system collapses. And so socialism in the end always collapses. And then literally nothing's working for anybody, and the society collapses. And that's what socialism is, plain and simple. And that's exactly where we're headed if we continue on this path, especially with the Democrats, because they are socialists.
Let me ask you this question, Frosty. It's an issue that is getting bigger and bigger every day. It's being exacerbated in most major cities, be it Seattle, be it San Francisco, be it anywhere across the country. Homelessness. What are we going to do to get people off the streets? And I know there's some that have mental illness. I know the drug problems are severe, but we also have some that have lost their personal responsibility to take care of themselves. And when I hear the idiocy of certain people in California saying, well, let's take all the people that are homeless in Sacramento or San Francisco and put them on a cruise ship, I about fell over.
Again, the fruits and nuts that are literally administering and leading California, they're so out there in the ozone. Obviously, their solutions aren't working. Understand that Gavin Newsom and then Jerry Brown before him, their solutions were not and are not working. And so, obviously, that state is falling into the cracks. And it's only the bedrock of America in places like Minnesota or Idaho or even North Dakota. Certainly, at least what's left of Michigan and other states that have bedrock Americans, that's where everything's working. That's where you actually can get education. You can really get a common sense, rational answer and solutions to the problems that each one of these states are facing. But when it comes to California, I'm telling you, I've been down that whole California coast now the last 3 years twice. In fact, 3 times now on my bicycle, and it's a nightmare. And so their solutions aren't working. And if we want to continue on that path and follow through with what's going on there, or even in New York City, or certainly in Detroit or Minneapolis, or even Chicago, or even Miami or L.A., folks, this country and our citizenry and our country as a whole is in deep, deep, deep trouble.
You know, we're just a couple of days away from Christmas, 9 days away from, I think, the greatest time of the year, celebrating the birth of Jesus and a new rebirth of thought and spirit. With that being said, is there any way, in your opinion, that we can start putting more common sense into our everyday lives and right the course of the ship, America, from where it's headed? I'm not real optimistic. Help me.
Well, I'm particularly not very optimistic myself because, as you all know, in the last 10, in the last 20, in the last 30 years, the Congress has not stopped this massive flood of foreigners, just invading our country, both legal and illegal. And so you've got this nightmare of multiculturalism and diversity that's simply degrading our ethos, and it's degrading our culture. It's degrading our language. It's degrading our way of life. and the sheer numbers alone are completely degrading our environment and the quality of life and our standard of living. Because if you go, it's called feedingamerica.com. We have 1 in 7 Americans now in food insecurity. They're not sure where their next meal's coming from. And you've got food banks all over this country, and you've got food pantries, and they're bare shelves. I mean, people are literally in a rough shape because of that. I mean, we've got 10,000 homeless here in Denver, Colorado, sleeping on grates, warming themselves by steam grates in the middle of Denver, Colorado. 10,000 of them. All total, if you just go to the homeless in America, about 1 million Americans are homeless at any given time. And it even gets worse during the summer, around 1.5 million. So all I can say is I'm going to continue to be an American citizen who works, who pays my taxes, who stands for the flag, who I say my prayers, I go to church on Sunday, and hoping that enough of us, the American people, not only maintain ourselves, but also vote for leaders that are going to do something good for America. And that's all I can do. And then everything else is just going to be, the chips are going to fall where they may.
Frosty, on behalf of Deanne and I, we want to wish you a very merry and blessed Christmas, and you and your lovely wife and all your family. God bless you so much for what you do. Thank you for being on the program this morning, and we'll look forward to having you back real soon. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Zeb.
All right, buddy. Take care. Frosty Woldridge, Golden, Colorado. Right now it's time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by our dear, dear friends at Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well beyond 50 years. Holy cow, let me tell you. They want to wish you and yours a very, very Merry Christmas, and they appreciate all the support that they've had with Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And don't forget, it's tax planning time again. If you've got questions, they've got the answers with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we begin another work week and so much closer to Christmas, and it's going to be a nice day. We are expecting mostly sunny skies, high of about 26. Tonight, expect areas of patchy freezing fog, mostly clear, going to get very cold, low of about 6 degrees with the wind chill factor as low as -5. Leave your faucets on a trickle. For tomorrow, patchy freezing fog in the morning, sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 25. With the wind chill factor, it's going to be as low as -7. Then for tomorrow night, increasing clouds, low of about 13 by Wednesday, mostly cloudy and 31. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb Durant.
Ooh, it's going to get a little chilly out there. Be prepared for the cold weather, and also be prepared with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, retirement planning, all of this and more, provided by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. As I said earlier, they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. I know some other folks that are wishing you a Merry Christmas, too, including Magic Valley Irrigation at 44 East, 500 South of Burley. Jeff and the crew, oh my, they've been offering irrigation system service and repairs since 1978, and they wish you a very Merry Christmas. Along with our friends at Magic Valley Carpet, 613 D Street in Rupert. My goodness, all your carpet needs, all your flooring needs right there at Magic Valley Carpet. Call them at 436-1722, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And our old buddy, Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair at 635 21st Street in Heyburn. He says, please remember the true meaning of the season, and also remember the senior centers. Those people always need our help. Thank you, Doug, at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair in Heyburn, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. I'm I'm going to give away a ham right now, and this ham, of course, compliments. Wheels, can you turn the feed line up a little bit in my headsets? I'm not hearing everything for some reason. It's gone real low this morning, if you would. And I'm going to give away ham and the compliments of Zeb at the Ranch and our friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And we've been giving a ham a day away on this program for, let's see, we've given away already about 7 hams. We're going to make it number 8 this morning. So if you're the lucky winner, we will ask you to stay on the line, and Wheels will get your address. We'll send you a ham certificate, and you can redeem those certificates at your Smith's Foods in both Burley and Twin Falls. Here is the question. I think this is relatively an easy question. Which United States state was the first to recognize Christmas as an official holiday? Which United States state was the first to recognize Christmas as an official holiday? Call me at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Quickly, so we don't run out of time, somebody come up with the right answer, and you will be the lucky winner of a delicious Christmas ham. Compliments of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and Zeb at the Ranch. What state was the first to recognize Christmas as an official holiday? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Connecticut.
No, I would love to say yes, but it wasn't. Good morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nice try. But come on, give me a call back. Let me know. I'd like to have the answer before we go to the news. What state was the first state to officially recognize Christmas as an official holiday? Give us a call, 436-2244. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Virginia.
No, but nice try. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you. Let's see if somebody else can answer it real fast. What state was the first one? Good morning. You're on the air.
Was it Alabama?
Who is this?
Julie Evanson.
Julie Evanson. Well, Julie, you are the winner of the ham. It was the state of Alabama. And I want you to stay on the air, or on the phone, I should say, and Wheels will take down your address, and we'll send you a certificate so you can go into Smith's Foods and get your ham, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And Merry Christmas to you, Julie. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas.
All right. It was the state of Alabama, and quite frankly, I didn't know that either. I had to look it up. Julie Evanson is the winner of the ham, and we'll be giving another ham away tomorrow. So don't forget, compliments of Zeb at the Ranch, and, of course, our dear friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We are going to take a little break for about 7 minutes, and then we're going to come back with Peter Ferreira at 10:06 and talk about insurance and the high cost of health care, all of that and more. And then at 10:30 this morning, Dr. Laura on our program. Right now, CBS News is next. Oh, my. Merry Christmas, everybody. 9 days, as a matter of fact, from that wonderful, wonderful holiday, Christmas 2019. And Zeb at the Ranch brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for whatever the weather throws at you. You stop in and see them today. Along with our good friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And, of course, our friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Oh, my, a beautiful 12-bedroom home for you, seniors. 3 meals a day plus housekeeping and snacks and local transportation, all included in the rent. And I'll tell you what, it's such a handy place right there on 21st Street, just a mile east of Walmart. Call. Make an appointment to see this beautiful facility at 650-4979. Matt and Kelly will show you around. 650-4979. Greystone Crossing Senior Living in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Want to also acknowledge some Merry Christmas wishes from Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27. There's a man and his family that really care, and he helps his constituents and really addresses all the issues and is looking forward to the legislative session coming up right after the first of the year. Merry Christmas from Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27. And the same could be said for Representative Fred Wood, District 27, Seat B. There's a man that really gets into the various issues and is very explanatory in sharing all that information with his constituents. Representative Fred Wood, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. And our dear friend, Representative Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke from District 27, Seat A. He and his family ranch up in the Oakley area, and they wish all of you to have a very happy New Year, and of course, right next week, Merry, Merry Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to go to the phone line, and our next guest is a former aide to Presidents Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush, and the author of many, many books regarding health care. I welcome and say good morning to Peter Ferreira. Peter, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Well, it's my pleasure, sir, and I know that you've written a lot of books, and rather than have me stumble and mumble over them, tell us a little bit about your books and the titles, so if someone's in the bookstore, they can find one for Christmas time.
Well, the latest one I did is called Power to the People. It's about entitlement reform. So it's about against entitlement reform, and it advocates fundamental entitlement reform, how Social Security can be reformed so people in the middle class can retire as millionaires, and it is how to reform welfare to finally win the war on poverty and eliminate poverty in America. The title of the book is Power to the People, The New Road to Freedom and Prosperity for the Poor, Seniors, and those most in need of the world's best health care.
Absolutely.
So it also advocates reform of Obamacare. And when you do these reforms, you actually reduce government spending and reduce taxes dramatically. So everyone benefits from these reforms.
I know this is hindsight, Peter, but let me ask you this. I'm an old man, and I believe in competition. I don't believe in government coming in and trying to make and break all the rules. I think this country would have been a lot further ahead had Obama and others stayed completely away from health insurance, etc. What are your thoughts?
Well, yes, I think that's true. I think Obamacare was very counterproductive. If you follow it closely, you'll see that all the promises made to pass Obamacare were violated once Obamacare was enacted. So they said if you like your health insurance, you can keep your health insurance. It turned out to be if Obama liked your health insurance, you could keep your health insurance because all the health insurance had to comply with the Obamacare requirements. And so millions of people lost their health insurance once Obamacare passed. Millions of people lost their doctor because they had to change their health insurance, and their doctor was not on the network for the new insurance. And, of course, he said it'll reduce costs by $2,500 per family. It did the opposite. It did the opposite of all of those. So it actually, health costs of insurance soared under Obamacare because of the excessive regulation that they imposed on health insurance. So we almost passed a repeal and replace bill that I actually heavily influenced when Paul Ryan was Speaker of the House. And so he actually took my advice as to what should be included in the repeal and replacement of Obamacare, and that America would have been, the costs would have went down, taxes would have went down, government spending would have declined, and everybody would have benefited. But we ended up losing that by one vote in the United States Senate, by a senator who's no longer there. A Republican senator at the last minute, John McCain, went thumbs down on it. We just needed that one vote, and they would have repealed and replaced Obamacare, but never happened.
Peter, let me ask you this, and I'm a very simplistic person on this program. I'm an old cowboy, but does this push and this escalation of everyday higher health care costs, it seems like there's almost an insidious push behind the curtain to raise health care costs as much as they can with the eventuality that they're going to promote and instill single-payer insurance. Am I wrong?
I think you're exactly right. I think that single payer health insurance is included in the proposal by many Democrats of Medicare for all. Now, keep in mind, Medicare is supposed to be for people like you and me, senior citizens, and the government's own actuaries, they project that Medicare will run out of money in 5 to 7 years. That's when it's just for seniors. When you expand it to Medicare for all, where's your solution to that? Medicare is running out of money as it is, so that's a very disabling thing. And Obamacare is one of the things that greatly increased the cost of health care. Obama said the health care costs would go down. Of course, they went up. The opposite of everything he said to pass that thing is what happened, and it happens because of incentives, counterproductive incentives. It's called in economics the third-party payment problem. When someone else is paying the bill, neither the doctor or the patient are worried about that are sufficiently take the cost into account. And so that is the thing behind the scenes, raising health costs all the time.
Let me ask you this question, and I've stated this with others that have been on here talking about health insurance, Medicare, etc. But we're seeing a diminishment. We're seeing a depletion of doctors and nurses and those that want to get into the medical industry. We're seeing a depletion and a backing off of some people that want to get into medical research because they don't want the government putting a cap or a ceiling on what they can possibly make for their incomes. All of this is destroying America's healthcare system. Am I wrong?
No, you're right again. And that, again, is due to government. So it's the government programs themselves. Medicaid, this is not Medicare, but this is Medicaid, which is the program for the poor. It doesn't pay the doctors and hospitals enough to provide health care to the poor. So politicians come on and they want applause, they want your vote because they passed this great program to provide health care for the poor. It turns out to be a big barrier for health care for the poor because they won't pay the doctors and hospitals enough and to get them to actually provide the best health care to the poor. People die while they're on Medicaid waiting for doctors. There was a case of a boy in Maryland who died of a toothache because he got the toothache spread from his tooth to his brain. He got a brain infection. He died in the hospital. And that was due to Medicaid because Medicaid doesn't pay the dentists enough to provide for poor people to have access to dentists. It doesn't provide the hospitals enough to treat the kind of problem that boy in Medicaid had. And so this is why doctors are quitting. They won't, because they see the future is going to be government controlled, government run. When you talked about single payer, they don't want to work for a single payer. What does single payer mean in English? Single payer means government monopoly. Why don't they use those words? It means government monopoly. Monopoly's bad enough, but a government monopoly, that's basically tyranny. But they use the word single payer. They use this jargon, which nobody knows what the heck it means. But that's what it means. Government monopoly.
You know, Peter, nobody on my program, I think, would know more about this than you would because you study this and you've worked with it with other presidents. But explain how, with the government monopoly on health insurance and basically having complete control, the government, could create, and I think they would, a hemlock society to where only certain people are going to get advantages of health care and the rest be damned. They can go die. That's the cold, hard truth. Again, I ask you, am I wrong?
You're exactly right again. Everywhere where they have these government-run healthcare systems, they have exactly what you said. They have a hemlock society. Because you know what? If you die, you're not going to be around to vote against them in the next election. So they don't really care about sick people. They claim, oh, yeah, if you're sick, we'll take care of you. Yeah, they'll take care of you. They'll take care of you by flushing you down the toilet because They don't want to spend the money on once. This is the secret of these programs. We're going to pay for health care for everybody, and then when they pass that, they meet among themselves and says, "How are we going to pay for all this health care that we promised everybody?" And they said, "Well, just don't treat the sick people." And so, as they said about Canada, which is a government-run health care system, they said Canada has the best health care in the world unless you're sick, and that was the truth of the matter, and that is the truth of the matter. So there is no future in health care once it's a government monopoly.
Peter,
government monopoly, that means tyranny.
Peter, what about this next election in 2020? And I'm not trying to pin you down to any candidacy or anything else as far as who you support, etc. I personally will come out and say that I wish that Donald Trump could be unfettered and do a lot more than what he's been able to do. But what are your thoughts about his reelection and what he might do to help this mess and clean up the insurance problem in America?
Well, as the Bible says, by their fruits you shall know them. And so I expect people to vote based on the fruits of what Trump has done. And so we got the lowest unemployment now in 50 years, the lowest unemployment in American history since for African Americans, the lowest unemployment in American history for Hispanics, lowest unemployment in American history for Asians. So Trump is leading the most inclusive recovery in American history. And so he's got the economy booming. That's because he's pushed all the right economic buttons, and the Democrats are promising to reverse those buttons. And there's a reason why Hillary lost. Hillary lost because she was promising to keep all of Obama's economic policies in place. She thought that was going to win for her, but that's the reason that she lost, because Democrats did not understand how unhappy blue-collar America was under Obama. And so he was just running around saying, we're never going to get those jobs back, and he was just making excuses for his poor performance. Under Obama, we were already in recession when he entered office, but he was not the only president who had a recession while he was in office. There were 11 other recessions since the Great Depression, under 11 other presidents. And his recovery, by the numbers, was the worst recovery from a recession since the Great Depression. And so I have an article, a study on that at the Heartland Institute, heartland.org, and you can look that up and see all the numbers. But it was the worst recovery from recession since the Great Depression. By 2016, blue-collar workers were disgusted because middle-class incomes had been declining under Obama. Unemployment took far too long to bring down, and it wasn't a traditional American recovery. The historical record is the worse the recovery, the stronger the recovery. The worse the recession, that's what it is. That was Milton Friedman did the first study on that. The worse the recession, the stronger the recovery. So the financial crisis, the Great Recession, was the worst recession. I was expecting this booming recovery to come out of that, and everybody would say, "Oh my gosh, Obama, look what he's done," and that would have just been normal, natural. All Obama had to do was get out of the way. But he didn't do that. He did all this crazy liberal left-wing economics, and he was preventing the economy from growing. And that's why the stock market took off on Election Day 2016, when investors were suddenly surprised that America was finally free of Obama's anti-growth economic policies. And so that's what I'm expecting people to see in 2020.
Peter, does it surprise you, and underline that word surprise, does it surprise you as to the gullibility, I'll use that word, of the American public that they would even consider a Medicare for all? It's total nonsense. You would think they'd see through it. You would think that they'd understand that it's cost ineffective and can't be paid for. But again, going back to the original word, does it surprise you the American people are so gullible to even accept this?
Well, they're not accepting it. So it's destroying the Democrats. It's very unpopular among seniors like you and me, because we think Medicare was for us. We're not looking for Medicare for all. And who are all these interlopers who are trying to come in under our Medicare now? And so it's a drag on the Democrat Party. Medicare for all is a drag people can't. Look, they promised to spend more than all the economies of the world put together if they're elected president. Vote for me, and one promise that is true that they make is they are going to bankrupt the United States of America. And so the country will not survive the first term of any of these Democrats if they're elected. They're all promising to raise taxes. If you raise taxes, you're going to push the economy back into recession right away. And so the American people don't want to go back into recession. They want economic growth. They want the American dream. And so they have a booming economy under Trump, and they're going to vote to keep it.
One final thought, Peter. If all of a sudden somebody said, Peter, you're the man, and you've got 1 week to try to turn this bus around before it goes over a cliff, what are some of the first things you would try to implement so that it would make our health care in this nation much more palatable?
Well, one of the things I would expand health savings accounts, which was adopted under the Bush administration. Is doing a very good job to the extent that healthcare costs have been controlled. The health savings accounts were adopted in 2002, and it gives people more control over their health insurance and more control over their health expenses and more control over the funds. So all the money does not go to an insurance company under a health savings account. You keep much of it in your own savings account, and the cost of health insurance, because you buy health insurance with a higher deductible, and so it's much cheaper than traditional health insurance. Now, Obamacare has made a mess out of health insurance, so there really is no more traditional health insurance. But traditional health insurance paid for everything from the first dollar, and now under Obamacare, everything has a very high deductible. But under health savings accounts, you would be able to get cheaper insurance, and you would be able to save the differences in your own health savings accounts, and you would have control over your own health care spending, and you would have incentives to control costs. Because you have incentives to control costs, doctors and hospitals will have new incentives to control costs, because now their customers are worried about costs. But with the government promising to pay for everything, the doctors and hospitals are not going to have any incentive to control costs, and costs are not going to be controlled. And so that's the first thing I would do, is expand health savings accounts. They are becoming like the most popular form of health insurance on their own. And I would repeal and replace Obamacare with a Republican alternative, which would give people, give the free market the opportunity to work in health care for the first time, create incentives to control costs in health care, like with health savings accounts, and give people. That's why my book is called Power to the People, because it includes all these empowerment changes to give people more control over their own money and over their own lives. And so that's what I would repeal and replace Obamacare with a superior alternative, like former House Speaker Paul Ryan was trying to get through the Congress when he was Speaker. He got it through the House, but it failed in the Senate by one vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, his latest book is Power to the People, and boy, would I like to have more government people adhere to those words. And author of many, many books, a former aide to Presidents Reagan and Bush, Peter Ferreira, I want to extend to you and yours a very Merry Christmas, and thank you for coming on the program this morning. Tell us quickly where people can find this new book at Christmas time.
Heartland.org. The Heartland Institute published it. They should be able to find the book at heartland.org.
Sir, I want to say again, thank you very much for being on the program, and I'll look forward to having you back in the future. Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Very interesting gentleman that knows the health insurance business and the badness, if you will, of Obamacare and what we were suffering through and what needs to be done or not done. And I appreciate him. Peter Ferreira on the air with us this morning, and his new book, Power to the People. Go to heartland.org and find out more about his book. Quick reminder. we are going to be at Denny's restaurant at the Denny's Old Fashioned Christmas Party on this Thursday, the 19th, from 8 to 11. I'll be broadcasting over there for my 3 hours of this show, and we're going to have Santa Claus there. And also, don't forget, we're going to have the lovely Ashley Ludlow is going to be singing Christmas carols. It's going to be a lot of fun. Great food, prizes, all of this and more at Denny's Old Fashioned Christmas Party this Thursday, December 19th from 8 to 11, and we will see you there. Right now, let's see, what else have I got to tell you about? 7K medals. I have said this many, many times on the program, and it's really true. Deanne and I were introduced to 7K medals with silver purchases about a month ago, and you can also share in building yourself and your financial security and future through silver purchases. And it's kind of like creating your own security bank, and it comes right to your home. It's a great savings opportunity for you and a valued treasure for your loved ones in the future. Please get a hold of 7K Metals with Lon Hardy at 312-8699 or Sharon Wilmot at 430-3259 and mention I told you to call 7K Metals and investing in your financial security. You get a hold of them today. Real quick, too, I want to remind you about our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Hello, Jeff and the crew. Oh, my goodness, it is Santa's favorite place to shop. They've got so many great items for you to check out at low, low prices. How about sofas starting at just $3.99? Dining room sets, 40% off. Listen to this. They've got all kinds of great buys on sofas and love seats. And don't forget, visit the Lee's Furniture Sleep Center. Save money on your new mattress. My goodness, yes, at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. 459 Overland in Burley with Jeff and the whole crew waiting to serve you, and they say to you and your family, a very Merry Christmas. Once again, Wheels, I would really appreciate it if maybe you could turn up the sound in my headset just a little bit. I'd appreciate that. For some reason, right after the news, we had kind of a lowering of the sound. If you could, I'd appreciate your help. We're going to send it back over to you right now at our main studios, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes with Dr. Laura on Zeb at the Ranch.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. Just days away. And if you're like me, I haven't even started my Christmas shopping. I know a great place to go, though, and that's Partisan's Electronics at 421 East Main in Burley. Merry Christmas wishes from Curtis and Lorena and the staff, and they say, hey, we've got all your electronic needs, home theater systems, video surveillance cameras, car stereos and speakers, complete sound systems, all your television sets, from Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, LG TVs, all there. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and they are waiting to serve you. Stop in today or give them a call, 678-6997. Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. I feel very blessed and honored to have this next guest on my program because I have listened to her for uncountable times on the radio as I've been traveling all over the United States. I'm just going to say that she's got a brand new book out called Love and Life, Tough Love, Advice on Dating and Marriage and Child Rearing and Values and Faith and Resilience. And with all that, good morning, Dr. Laura Schlesinger. How are you?
Good morning, sir. And you're obviously not obsessive-compulsive like I am because all my Christmas shopping is done.
I wished I had that value. Maybe I should have called into your program years ago and said, what do I do to get over my put-it-off-till-tomorrow attitude?
That's cute.
You've written a brand new book, Love and Life, Tough Love, and boy, that's a book that's way overdue. And I want to ask you, of all the books that you've written and all the radio, television, etc., is this project one that, why all of a sudden Tough Love? What hit you that made you want to write about this?
book is a compilation of essays, columns that I've written for Newsmax magazine once a month for 15 years. And what we did is we went through, picked out ones, lumped them for the ideas that we need to bang over people's heads a little more. So I said, this one we have to remind people. This one we have to remind people. So basically, it's a reminder, and I wanted it to come out just at the end of the year, just before people start making New Year's resolutions, to start thinking about what's really important. New Year's resolutions usually have to do with I'm not going to smoke and I'm going to lose weight, and there are more important things, actually, in terms of values and how we live our lives and the good we do, and that's why I decided it was time to do this. It's a reminder book.
I want to get into some of the categories, and some of them may hit close to home with me because we all have our little pitfalls, if you will. First of all, you've got secrets to a satisfying marriage. Now, Deanne and I, my lovely wife and I, have been married 48 years, and there's been a lot of rocks in the trail, but we've managed to kind of move them off into the barrel pit. But for a lot of people, it can be a problem. What are some of your secrets that maybe you'd like to share with us about a satisfied marriage?
Well, two things that I think would cover most turf. One of them is you have to choose wisely. A lot of people don't bother to do that. And if you don't choose wisely, you can break your back, go through years of therapy, yell, scream, have fights, move apart, get back together again. It's just not going to happen. So people need to choose wisely. And then they have to treat kindly. And you do that every day, and here's where I get into part two. Most people wake up in the morning and go pee. I suggest that before people wake up in the morning and go pee, they wake up, look at their spouse, and say to themselves in their own little heads, what can I do for him, her, so that they will be happy today that they're alive and married to me? If the first thought was a giving thought to bring some joy, to happiness, to make a connection, because that's what we stopped doing. We stopped making a connection to our spouse. The rest of it really is more of a slide on ice.
You know, the one category that a lot of people probably cringe from talking about is divorce. And there are reasons or not to leave, stay, or whatever, like you said, through a marriage. What about a divorce? Is that the the most ultimate challenge?
Well, it should be the last option. If there's, drug addictions and alcoholism and violence and constant fooling around with other people outside and cruelty and all of this. But again, we didn't choose wisely. This stuff rarely appears suddenly out of the woodwork 10 years later. So, yeah, there are reasons to divorce, but there are a lot of times people are just not maintaining their connection, and that can be repaired. And I can't tell you how many women I've said, is it really worth what it's going to cost your kids? And you realize that after you divorce, you're going to see your kids half the time. Half the time they're going to be with him without you there to balance. So you have to weigh what you want to invest in what could feasibly be a repair here, or walk out the door thinking somehow life is automatically going to be better when half the time you're not even going to see your kids. So I try to get people to see the profound nature of how destructive divorce is for kids, where they no longer have a place to live. They get two houses to visit, and then they have to deal with their parents' new boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses, more babies, more other kids. I mean, it's a destructive thing for the kids, and it's a destructive thing for society.
Absolutely. Dr. Laura, I'm an old cowboy, and I'm proud of the fact of what I've accomplished in my life and my career. But I look back on what's going on right now in our society, and I'm going to say that with the millennials going all the way down to our kindergarten-age students, we're creating a society of wussiness. Just basically people aren't tough like they used to be, and parents, I don't think, are doing the best job in trying to make their kids self-reliable. What are your thoughts? Am I wrong?
You're 100% right, and I suffer with this every day. It's another reason I wrote the book. We've got to turn this around. I'm not retiring. To me, I spell retire, D-E-A-D. So I'm going to keep pounding on this. You will, too. You said you're a cowboy. Are you wearing cowboy boots right now?
I am.
Good for you. Do you know I own 60 pairs of cowboy boots?
Well, I used to be in the rodeo business up until 2 years ago as an announcer at all the rodeos across the United States and Canada, and so that's been my lifestyle. And the Zeb at the Ranch name of this program is true because I'm doing it from a studio at my ranch.
Oh, that's fabulous. And people don't understand. Cowboy boots are really extremely comfortable. Probably more comfortable than sneakers.
Absolutely. But go back to I've said on my program many, many times, the John Wayne attitude in America is lacking. We've lost the ability to be tough, and we're really turning into kind of oh, woe is me, give me a cuddly doll and make me go in to see some psychiatrist at the college campus. I just think this has got to stop.
Well, I agree with you. I'm doing my best. I'm sure you're doing yours, and each family has to make that adjustment. It's just that people are afraid to not do what everybody else is doing because they'll be criticized, and that's part of the wussyhood that we're dealing with.
What about dealing, one of the things that you had in your book that I want you to elaborate on is how families can strengthen to cope with disaster. Explain that chapter to us a little bit, if you would, please.
Well, most people, when bad things happen, split apart. They go into their own world of misery and fear and resentment and have to be angry with somebody, have to blame somebody, be it government, God, somebody down the block, whatever. Instead, we need families in advance of terrible things to talk about the potential for terrible things. A lot of parents think they're actually protecting their kids somehow by not talking about reasonable things that could happen. I'm not talking about making kids paranoid, but reasonable things that can happen. And this is what we need to do. And we need to pull together and not blame each other, but to hold on to each other and to focus and have a game plan and show respect and kindness and embrace each other in bad times and not just pull into our own little hole and say, you know, I'm the only one having pain.
One of the subjects I wanted you to comment on this morning is, and let me explain my position on this. I have said for a long time, I make no apologies. I'm a white male. I'm a Caucasian. I'm proud of my race. I'm also extremely proud of my country. So I guess I'm a nationalist. So I'm a white nationalist, and all of a sudden in today's connotation, I'm an evil person, but I love my country. Please help me, Dr. Laura.
Well, I don't know what to do there for you. That's not a subject I covered. But I was just talking about the blaming somebody. We can blame races. We can blame different religions. We can find groups and categories to blame and take all our frustrations in life and our failures in life and put them on somebody else. I see that happening. We all saw that happening when we were growing up. Everybody tried to blame everybody, but now it's become institutionalized, so there are activist groups that come together and say, we are the only righteous, everybody else is wrong and bad and evil and bigoted and what have you. And this is very divisive. You cannot have a country where it's balkanized into groups that, anytime there's an activist group, they are supremacists in their own activist group because they believe they are the superior and moral way of thinking about things. So every group does that. And then they look at each other and say, you're bad. And this is the insanity we now have. And that I don't know how to fix.
Well, you know, the one thing I would like you to comment again on, the reason I said that about being white and nationalists, et cetera, I love this country. I think it's the greatest country ever on the face of the earth. But I don't think our children are being educated either at home or in the school system about the values of this great country, the United States of America. I think you would agree.
Well, then more parents have to read books to their kids about history, good and bad. I mean, every country has its good and bad. So that's really up to the parents. Sexual education is up to the parents. Moral education is up to the parents. Having values, that's all up to the parents. The parents drop the ball. Nobody else is going to pick it up except an activist group that's going to try to suck them into a way of thinking. And this country was sort of founded on we could have a range of ways of thinking and we would all respect and die for the right of somebody else to have a different thought. That's kind of lost. But if we brought our kids to understand that that was the mentality that created this country, perhaps that would be the beginning of turning things around, perhaps.
Absolutely. The book is called Love and Life, Tough Love, Advice on Dating, Marriage, Child-Rearing, Values, Faith, and Resilience, written by a lady that everybody in America, or for that matter the world, has heard of, Dr. Laura Schlesinger. Where can they find the book, please?
Any bookstore, online, Amazon, any place you normally buy a book.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being on the program. Thank you so much, and God's blessings to you for this book and all the future. Thank you, Dr. Laura.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful Christmas.
I will. Thank you very much. Dr. Laura Schlesinger and her new book, Love and Life, Tough Love, Advice on Dating, Marriage, Child-Rearing, Values, Faith, Resilience. That lady has been doing this. We're the same age. And she's been doing this for a long time with her radio, her television, and all of her books. Very famous worldwide, as a matter of fact. And as you can tell, she won't back up for anybody or anything, and I really appreciated the opportunity to have her on the program at least for about 10 minutes this morning, and that's Dr. Laura Schlesinger. Thank you very, very much. Merry Christmas wishes. What have I got next here? I've got to remind you about some more of our Merry Christmas wishes to you, and then we'll take some more calls. Give us a jingle on the landline at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Merry Christmas from Rain for Rent over in Paul. They've got your irrigation needs. Good folks wishing you a Merry Christmas. Scows Automotive in Burley and Rupert. Holy smokes, when it comes to anything for cars, pickups, trucks, you name it. Scows in Burley and Rupert. And, of course, Save on Shells. Hello, Anthony. The best of camper shells for your pickups right there at Save on Shells. And Dairy Queen. Outstanding food. Great treats for you and the family at Dairy Queen in Burley. Choked to death, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Right now, we are going to have a weather forecast, and then we'd like some more of you folks to get involved and give us a jingle on the landline. The number 436-2244. Right now, it's time for the weather. Brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, with our dear friend Don Scarrow and the whole crew at www.scarrowsmeats.com. Check out the website. Check out all the delicious meats, and give them a call, 324-7657. Wonderful people serving you with marinated pork ribs and, of course, the tri-tips and all the different bacons and sausages and bratwurst. It's all there at Scarro's Meats in Jerome. And right now, here's Gino with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we begin another work week and so much closer to Christmas, and it's going to be a nice day. We are expecting mostly sunny skies, high of about 26. Tonight, expect areas of patchy freezing fog. Mostly clear, going to get very cold. Low of about 6 degrees with the wind chill factor as low as -5. Leave your faucets on a trickle. For tomorrow, patchy freezing fog in the morning, sunny skies by the afternoon, high of 25. With the wind chill factor, it's going to be as low as -7. Then for tomorrow night, increasing clouds, low of about 13 by Wednesday, mostly cloudy and 31. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zebeth Rand.
Wow. Thank you, Gina. And don't forget Scarro's Meats in Jerome. Don and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome, serving you with the best of meats. And they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. All right, now it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And give you a little heads up on what we're going to be doing the rest of the week. Tomorrow and Wednesday, programming as usual. And then on Thursday, I really would appreciate all the lunch bunchers and everybody else in the sound of my voice. Come on down to Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. Wow. We are going to have an old-fashioned Christmas party, and I know I talked to Thomas last week, and we're all set. We've got some prizes to give away. We've got great, delicious food. Santa Claus is going to be there. I had to make special arrangements for Santa to park the reindeer on the roof, and he's going to be there at Denny's this Thursday. And then we also managed to get back into the fold Ashley Ludlow. And she was our singer last year and did a wonderful job with all the different Christmas carols. And she sang for the entirety of the 3 hours, did a phenomenal job. All of this is coming up on this Thursday, Denny's Old Fashioned Christmas Party. And it's going to be from 8 to 11. I'm going to be there broadcasting live and direct for the 3 hours of my program. And we urge you to come on down and be a part of it at Denny's this Thursday at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. We will look forward to having you there. All right, calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. One question I've got to ask anybody and everybody out there that's been associated with the military or not, what kind of common sense or lack of, especially in the light of what happened at Pensacola Naval Station, what in the world is going on with our soldiers, men and women, on a naval base like Pensacola, and they cannot protect themselves on that naval base? The protection, if you will, is hired out to private citizens groups to come onto the base and be there for the protection, so to speak, of our soldiers and members of the military, and they're allowed to carry weapons, but not members of our own military on bases here in the United States of America? This is insane. Would somebody please tell me what in the world is going on here? I mean, to put our soldiers, men and women, in harm's way like what happened at Pensacola, and wait and rely on private firms to show up on the scene? This, I've never heard of anything so ludicrous in my life. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I always found this kind of ironic in a way that you take some young men and young women, you teach them how to be proficient with firearm, how to do so safely, how to use that weapon as a tool to survive and to protect others and yourself. But yet you take the tools away from them when they're on their home plate and their home base, their home. It's their home. That's their area. It's like you on your ranch. Okay, that the base that's their home, and you're taking away their firearms away from them, their tools to do their job, and telling them we can't trust you with this at home in your home area. But yet we'll give them to you when you go somewhere else to do your job. It's really ridiculous. The safest people in our nation, other than the law enforcement, the police officers, is our military. And I wholeheartedly believe that. It takes a special kind of person to say, you know what, I'll give you that blank check to the people of the United States in payment full on my life if need be. It takes a special kind of person. So to take the power away from them that they need it's utterly ridiculous. We should be hiring them to protect our schools instead of an outside force who could care less. They're just getting a paycheck, and that's all that matters.
I just absolutely am shocked as to telling our military, highly trained individuals, and serving their United States of America, and they're told basically on base, oh no, we don't trust you, like you said a moment ago. We're going to have an outside civilian firm come in and basically try to make sure that everybody is safe and sound. This is absolute insanity.
They've opened up our U.S. military men and women to attacks on their home soil.
Yeah.
Like I said before, their neighborhoods, their homes. They open them up for attacks because, you know what? They know the people who want to cause harm to us know that our military personnel cannot carry firearms on a base.
Yeah.
Even whether in full uniform or not, it's probably not going to happen unless you're an MP. But it sounds like that's going to be too. So, you know, it's just opening us up for more hurt. But I'll let you go.
Well, Riley, again, I praise you because you always have some good common sense on the issues. And to you and your family, Merry, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much.
And to you and your family as well, Seth.
Thank you very much. I mean, we send our soldiers, again, men and women, to serve our country to all points of the compass, all foreign countries, and they can take the loaded weapons, as far as I know, on any and all the bases to protect that base, but they can't protect themselves? right here in this United States of America? Caller, quickly, I've only got a minute left. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're still following Obama rules. He wouldn't allow them to even have bullets in their guns.
Yeah.
He had them take the bolts out of their guns also when they were around him.
It's absolutely the truth. Obama was, and I'll stand behind this statement, the worst president ever in the history of this United States. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for your call, my friend. I got to run. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right now, I want to remind everybody about our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, boy, they're off serving the Magic Valley with hams right now. They're running all over the place. Great, great people. Well, be ready for anything the weatherman throws at you, snow and muck and yuck and ice and everything. They've got all the tires, all the tread designs. They've got it all at any one of the 7 locations serving you. All your winter tires. They've got all your tire chains. They've got the best in brake service, absolutely, with highly trained brake technicians. All of this and so much more, front end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries. Oh, you heard the weather. It's going to get doggone cold. You better make sure you've got a good battery. Stop in today and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best. Serving you, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Tomorrow on the program, what have we got cooking? We've got Dan Kish with the American Energy Alliance, another good guy, Phil Kirpin, and then we're looking at Dr. History's going to be here, and one of my favorite guests back in New Jersey, Dr. Michael Bustler, is going to be here talking about Trump's economy, and his eyes light up when he talks about that. What a great job and how things are really going up, up, and up. Thank you very much. We're going to wrap it up for today. We always say the way things were or the way things ought to be, and our 4 big words that we always adhere to: in God we trust. Have a wonderful but chilly day. Dress warm and get your Christmas shopping done. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8:06. God bless. See you then.